Faber Piano Adventures Level 5, pages 32 and 33. We're talking about flat key signatures and 2-octave flat keys. So on the left page, you basically should just be writing the flats in order, starting from the key of B flat and moving on up, adding your flats. If you're my student, you should be using some form of Fat Cats Get Drunk at Ed's Bar. It's that backwards for the order of the flats. You could be like Big Ed ate donuts, goats, cats, and frogs. I mean, I don't care what you make up for your flat pattern, but come up with something so that you can remember the order of the flats. And you have to be able to draw them in order, obviously. So it starts with a B flat, goes up to E, then down to A, up to D, down to G. So it's always going up, then down. Just remember that. So that page is just an exercise, really simple. 2 flat octave scales on page 33. We're doing F major, B flat major, and E flat major. You should be practicing your right hand, starting on the low F, so there's middle C, and playing 2 octaves. If you notice F major scale, it's actually playing no pinky if you look at the fingering. So there shouldn't be any pinky in your right hand. Your left hand, it's normal. You're going 3, crossing over with 4, 3. Going back to 4, 3, and then crossing back. So it's not really that tricky if you can remember that your right hand is obviously not playing your pinky. A little weird there, I know, if you're not used to it. So good thing to practice. B flat, this one, it starts off with above the B flat, it shows a 4 or a 2. So you could start with your 4-finger and cross under to 1, or you could start with your 2 and cross under to 1 in your right hand. I would probably recommend 2, but it doesn't really matter, whatever you prefer. So they're going 2, 1, 3, then 1, then 4. And you're finishing on 4, coming back 3, 4, 3, and then crossing over to 2 or 4, whatever you started on. So pick a fingering and stick to the fingering. Don't go over there and do 4 sometimes and then 2 other times. Pick one. In your left hand, we're starting with our 3rd finger. So very different from a lot of the sharp scales where we were always starting with our 1 or our 5. So we're starting with our 3rd finger, crossing over to 4. So the pattern's still the same. And then you'll notice at the end we're crossing up to 2. So we're actually going 3, 4, 3, 4, 2, and then coming back. We're still doing the 3, 4 things. So we're going 2, 1 to 4, 3, 4, 3. So this is very common with flat scales. We'll be using a lot of 3, 4s, and 2s and so forth. We're not typically going to be starting with our 1s. It just doesn't work. Down at the bottom, E flat major scale, same thing. You can do 2 or 3 on the starting point in your right hand. It doesn't matter. I do 3. Don't forget you've got 3 flats. E flat, A flat, B flat, okay? So there's an octave, and then you can go up and do 2 octaves if you want. Again, the fingering's on the page, not that hard. You're going to have to practice these separate for quite some time, then put them together. Don't try to do them right away. So just be careful with the fingering and you should be good on pages 33. 32, you just got to get the order of the flats memorized, and then you got to be able to tell what key you're in. Really simple thing, it tells you on the page. You just go back 1 flat. So if you're in the key of B flat major, where you have 2 flats, B flat and E flat, you go back to the previous flat, and that's the name of the key. So if you had 3 flats, B flat, E flat, and A flat, you go back to the previous flat. So not the last flat, the second to the last flat. That's the answer to what key you're in. If you have any questions, you're one of my students about that, we'll go over it in the lessons. But otherwise, this should cover pages 32 and 33. So good luck.